I looking at a pair of mummified feet? Or just a slightly mouldy sausage roll? I don't know. But good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Children of Clay, which is a game I have forgotten what I once knew about. Time is 5:40 past 11. I received another artifact from my old friend, Professor Ortavi. He writes again about how he misses working with me in the field and his remorse over the accident. I immediately felt a chill down my spine and was once again back in the cave, trapped and helpless. I composed myself. I need to focus on my work. Time to start the examination. 5:40 past 11. That's a very old-fashioned way of describing time. Artifact number 297. Kurgan Burial Mound 7B, Ural Mountains. Material clay, age and function unknown. Right. Okay. Yes, I think I ran into this on itch.io some time ago. So there was a Steam version, downloaded it, and then completely forgot about it for a while. So, what is this great big gaping hole in the sky? Oh, I see. This is a magnifying glass. Excellent. Because when I was looking at this very flat-faced fellow here, I just thought to myself, I wish it was a bit bigger. No, I don't. Alright, is this a compass, perhaps? Okay, I can move it left and right, but that doesn't really seem to achieve anything. Alright. We have a pack of matches here, which I can get a match from, and I can light it, and then I can set fire to my desk and burn down my entire office building. Tremendous. Search for... I don't know what I'm searching for. I don't know what this is. I have absolutely no idea. Alright, let's have a look at this thing. This feature resembles a human face, if it were a human face made out of mutton, which had been used by an amateur boxer for practice for several weeks. Yes, alright. I can turn it round, and I can see the plump side of it. This feature resembles a tail. Yes, which I'd rather hope that people wouldn't have. Turn it around the other way. Is that an inscription? Yes, there seems to be some sort of runes, but I don't recognize the type. Maybe I can find something in my books. Alright, how do I... Ah, right, I see. I've written it down, the runes. Yes, that's good, because I don't really know how to type runes in here, so I'm just going to write the word runes and see what comes up. An example of rune and runification writing is the letter U written using different runes. Okay, do we have any examples of that here? Yes, look, the third character and the sixth character are U's according to this this Ruvas system. Alright, can I look specifically for Ruvas runes? Yes, I can! Aha! The Ruvas script, or Old Hungarian runes, is a system of writing used for writing the Hungarian language. After the establishment of the Christian Hungarian kingdom, the old writing system was partly forced out of use, and the Latin alphabet adopted. However, among some professions, the script has remained in use. For example, shepherds use it to track the number of animals. Old Hungarian letters were usually written from right to left. Ah, right, okay. I didn't realise this was going to be more sort of puzzle-based. I thought this would be a more standard horror game, but I don't mind a change of pace. Allow me to get a piece of paper and a pen and see if me and my knackered brain can figure out what we're doing. Okay, so let's look at this rune here. It looks like sort of two mountains next to each other. Is that an L? I think that is an L. Okay. And then presumably we'll have to read it back to front, according to this. Well, not back. We'll have to read it the correct way. We'll just have to read it back to front if we were using an English script. And then that sort of back to front C, I think, is an N. And then we've got a pair of U's, haven't we? We've got a U in the middle and then a U at the end. We've then got this little sword symbol, which I think is a D. And then we've got this N-looking thing, which I think is an R, looking at that. Right. Okay. So that spells out L-N-U-D-R-U. So if we write that backwards, we get U-R-D-U-N-L. Erdnull? Is that a word? I don't know. I'd better look it up in my books, hadn't I? Let me see if Erdnull returns anything. I could not find anything relevant. Ah, okay. That's not very good, is it? Right, let me try. How is it spelled again? I can't remember. No. I've forgotten the spelling. I've forgotten the spelling of the word. Hang on a minute. Maybe oh, it was Rovas, not Ruvas. Sorry. Let me try that again. Unless it's not that system of runes. Unless that's a red herring. Let me quickly write down the name of the other runic systems. And what I'm going to do is see, assuming that they each come back with like a translation matrix of runes, then what I'll do is I'll translate the term in all three languages, and see if any of them come up with anything that seems a bit more intelligible. Because this might be a bit of a red herring, and it might be that actually in, say, Futhark ruins, which I think I have heard of before, I think that's a Norse system unless I'm mistaken, perhaps this same symbol is used to mean a different letter, like an A, for example, and that's just a bit of a sneakiness. So let me try putting in Futhark. No, hang on. Did I even spell that correctly? I'm not sure. Let me try that again. Assuming I wrote it down correctly in the first time. Nope. Okay, so nothing for that one seemingly. And then what about this one? Should be a small miracle if I can figure out how I wrote it down the first time. No. Okay. And assuming that I didn't write those down wrong, because my spelling is appalling. No, I did write that down wrong, because apparently that last letter is not an A. Apparently it is an N. I just can't read my own writing. Oh, blimey. No. Okay. In that case, then, I'm going to operate under the assumption that these Ruvas ruins are the only... runes, even, not ruins, are the only ones that would be potentially of interest. So let me double check that I haven't misspelt anything. And then... hang on a tick. You see this letter here? That looks very similar to that one, but I think there's two lines in the middle of there, but there's only one here. The distinction is very slight, but maybe that's a G. Maybe that's a G instead of an L. So that would lead to dung. Alright, let's just quickly cross-check that I haven't made mistakes on any of the other letters. I'm convinced that one's an N. There's nothing else that would be closely resembling. That's definitely the U. That's how we got here in the first place. That is... Yes, that's the D without doubt. There's nothing else that even resembles it. And then there's that one... Yeah, which I'm sure is the R. There's that one which is similar, but again, that's got too many lines. And there's that one, but then that's got a pair of lines instead of just the one, then another U. Okay, so let's try researching U-R-D-U-N-G. Hooray! We did it! I'm proud of myself. I figured something out. At last. Right. Erdung is a. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. I have no idea how to pronounce it, so I apologize infinitesimally. Is a shape-shifting demonic creature from early Hungarian paganism. In pre-Christian beliefs, it ruled the lower world and helped God in creating the earth. After Christianization, it was identified with the devil. Right. That seems a tad odd. Surely if you help somebody with the creation of the world, then you should, at the very least, get a nice tea break and a sandwich, rather than being personified as quite literally the devil. But maybe he did all the bad bits in the world, like train timetables and taxes. One of the oldest myths is recorded in the Uja tablet found in the Ural Mountains. Illustration of the devil from the Codex Gigas in the 13th century. Yes, he seems like a character in a cartoon who's just opened an oven in which he's been cooking something for far too long and it's exploded soot all over his face. He also looks like he's wearing an acorn for a hat and could do with some severe nail clipping attention. But other than that, everything seems brilliant. Okay, can I turn this sort of twice in order to see the back? Yes, I can. What's that? A metal object is embedded in the artifact. It doesn't seem possible to extract it. Perhaps I can find what kind of metal it is. Ah. Is that why I need the compass? To see if it's magnetic and if it draws the... the compass is detecting a magnetic field. Okay. So that tells us it's a magnetic type of metal. Okay. Would setting it on fire tell me anything? No? Oh, that's a shame. Alright. That's very interesting. I'm not wholly sure how that helps. Could I... There's obviously... There's 11 things that I can search for. Could I search for... I don't know, could I search for magnet? No. Your magnetism. Is that a word? Is that a spelling of a word? I don't really know. Okay. There's nothing else here, is there? No. Okay. An iron object. Oh, it's iron. Is surely iron isn't magnetic, is it? I mean, you can. Is it? I have no idea. You'll quickly learn that I know absolutely nothing about physics in the world. It is something that goes in one ear and right out the other. The earliest known ironwork is dated from 3500 BC and made from meteoric iron. Does that mean it came down in a meteor? There are two main types of iron: iron wrought, or cold iron, and cast iron. Right, because you describe it as cold iron, I'm guessing the other one is like when a blacksmith puts an iron rod in the fire to get it very, very hot and then hammers it into shape. Cold iron has a long and varied tradition in mythology and folklore of the world. Right, well that's all very interesting, although I'm not sure how it helps, unless now I'm supposed to set it on fire. No, okay, right, that didn't help. So what is the next step in the investigation? Because we've seen the runes and there's nothing else on this side, is there? No. Alright, let's keep turning it around again. Hello, friendly face. Oh my goodness. Do we have... Yes, the face. Yes, I know it's the face, friend. Can I observe anything new or different? I don't see the tail. Oh yes, the tail. I'd forgotten about that. I'd actually completely forgotten about that. I assume that putting tail in here wouldn't. No, that wouldn't lead to anything. That would be a bit daft now, wouldn't it? All right. What is that? Is that a candle actually? Ah, there we are. I don't really know how that helps, but maybe it does. Unless I can pick this up or move it somehow? I don't know. The fact that they describe the iron process, it makes me think that maybe I am trying to extract it. In which case, how would it being hot, how would that serve any purpose? How would that make things of any use to me? I don't know. Oh right, I see that's the search. Presumably I haven't noticed that before because I've been pressing enter. Alright, let's go back to the iron page for a moment and see if there's anything. So it says that coal iron has a long and varied tradition in the mythology and folklore of the world. Well, that seems to be linking into what we've got right now, because there's a name of a demon written on this artifact. So that must mean that this is somehow related to cold iron. So what if I specifically search for cold iron? Oh yeah, I forgot there's no spaces in this, are there? Can I put I can put an underscore, I'm sure that won't work. Alright, what if I just put cold? No, and cold iron. Aha! I'm not really sure why you can't put spaces in, possibly to make you think that you only need to do one word at a time rather than phrases, but then this is a multiple word thing, so I'm getting a bit confused. Cold iron is historically believed to repel, contain or harm ghosts, fairies, witches or other malevolent supernatural creatures. This belief continued into later superstitions in a number of forms. I've heard a daft old thing when I was young, that if you hung a horseshoe like above your door, which presumably were made of iron or something similar, certainly older ones would have been, that if it was hung inversely to how it's presented on this page, then it would collect good luck, because apparently luck falls out of the sky. But also witches could sit on them, because apparently their arses are about 5mm wide. But if you turned it the other way up, then the witches would fall off. I really don't know where people came up with these ideas, but also the luck would run out, so you wouldn't, you can either have no good and no bad, or you can have some good and some bad, or alternatively, it was just a load of old rubbish. Alright, well that's interesting, but I'm not sure how it's going to help me. Unless perhaps I need to read about superstitions? I don't really know, but I need to write the word superstitions down, and I need to write it quite carefully, because it's a big word, and I have absolutely no idea how it's spelled. So, let's write that down, because I can't do a Control-C, Control-V on this. So, let's put in superstition. I don't find anything for superstition. That seems a bit strange. This book seems to be full of all sorts of fascinating tidbits like that. Try putting superstitions. No. Okay. So that still doesn't really help me. We found out more information, but I don't see how I'm any closer to my goal. My goodness. Oh, goodness. Let's see, we put in cold iron before, didn't we? Let me go back to that page for a moment and see what else might have been. I mean, this is a picture of a horseshoe. Should I just search for horseshoe and see what comes up? No! Right, okay. That was a daft idea. That didn't work in the slightest. Welcome to all my ideas ever. Alright, if it's not superstition, what else could it be? Could it be maybe something to do with malevolent supernatural creatures? Because that's the Erdung monster demon thing that we've been reading about before. So let's try perhaps supernatural. Supernatural, I think it's spelled like that. Nope, nothing on the supernatural either. What kind of use is a book if it doesn't have a good ghost in it? Let's try malevolent, except I have no idea how to spell it, so I'm gonna have to. Seems I can't spell anything today. Spelling has never been my strong suit, so forgive me. Right. try putting in malevolent. Let's see what comes out. It's like playing one of those old sort of text adventure things where you had to find the right verb. So it wasn't perhaps like collect knife or pick up knife, it would be get knife. So you'd have to find the right word in order to progress yourself and interact with the game properly. So I feel like I'm in a similar sort of a pickle now, because I can't quite find the next step. Perhaps I'm going down the wrong avenue. I'm assuming that there are various different avenues that you can explore. So sort of on each side. On each side there's something you can explore. I assume that... Okay, we can read about clay as well. Pottery is a process of forming objects with clay or other raw materials, which are then fired at a high temperature and give off a hard and durable form. Yes, I believe that's how they make bricks. It is one of the oldest human inventions, originating before the Neolithic period, with ceramic objects dating back 29 to 25,000 years BC. Yes. This sort of design here seems vaguely familiar from somewhere. Right, is there anything in here that I could use as the next step of my research? The answer to that is I don't think so, unless we're going to look up Neolithic, which I will, for no particularly good reason, other than I can't think of anything else to search for at the moment. But let's I've definitely spelt that right, haven't I? I don't want to think that I'm missing something because I can't spell. Right, Neolithic. No, there's nothing on the Neolithic era. It's just a 4,000 year period where people sat on their hands and didn't do anything. No, I'm assuming that there's probably a different... Kill it with fire! Kill it with fire! No, don't kill it with fire, it's already dead. Or it's never alive in the first place, more specifically. Interesting. Is that nothing, or is that something more interesting? Also, why does he have this great big tumour in his head? I don't know, and I'm worried. Presumably that's just an imperfection of the manufacturing process. No, I'm assuming there's probably a different trail of research down each side of this construction. So, for example, here we've got the runes that we've learned about. On the far side we've got the tail, and then on this side, of course, we've got the iron. So what have we learned thus far? We've learned that there's a name written in old Hungarian runes, the name of a demon etched onto the side of it. It's got a tail. What's his face had a tail, didn't he? Let me research. No, actually, not specifically, not that we can see anyway. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe I left this page a little bit too quickly. Maybe I need to look at other things. Maybe let me look at this Codex Gigas thing and see. It's an A, an O. Oh dear. Yeah, let's look at this Codex Gigas. Codex Gigas? No, what about just Gigas itself? I'd hope if I could spell everything. Everything would be improved by me being able to spell. Okay, nothing there either. Let's go back to that page for a moment. Actually, hang on a minute. It mentioned... So, one of the oldest myths is recorded in this tablet found in the Ural Mountains. So, perhaps I need to read about his mythology. Perhaps that will Perhaps that will give me some form of a clue. So perhaps I need to look up this tablet. Perhaps if I can find information about this tablet, possibly even find the myth itself, then I may be able to learn more about this character and why his name has been etched into the base of this statue. So let me put in Y-U-G-R-A. Aha! Here we go. Found in the Ural Mountains, the Yugra tablet depicts the legend of a star that fell to Earth, and out of the star, the 7 children of Erdung crawled out. According to the legends, the children caused misfortune, sickness, and death to mankind, but a brave Taltosh used his cunning to lure and trap the creatures. Of the 7 children, only 6 are depicted on the tablet. This could be because of damage, but one hypothesis states that this is evidence for the 7th child being the folk creature Mumosh. Right. Okay. That's curious. So I'm assuming these are the 7 children here. We've got some sort of trypophobia character here. Something that looks like a centipede with a head from West of Loathing on it. Some sort of extremely grumpy stork creature. Some lady with many arms and big shoes. One of those big red reptilian creature heads from SCP, with the roots of a tree coming out of the bottom of it. And a man with a lot of eyes and very long optical nerves, but not much else. Okay. Well, this has given us a few nouns that we could study. So I don't know what a Taltosh is. I'm guessing that's the name of a group of people, because it seems to be a some sort of hero character in this story who has trapped the creatures in order to prevent their misdeeds upon Earth. So I'm guessing that's a group of some form, or a culture of individuals. And then there's also this seventh child being a Mumosh. So I want to study the Mumosh and see what they are. Aha, here we are. The Mumosh is an invisible creature that scares children in Hungarian folklore. It is most often associated with darkness, but there is no description of its shape, even in the beliefs of other peoples. According to some assumptions, there is no description of its shape anywhere, because for everybody, it is an embodiment of their own fears. Interesting. A sort of we all make our own hell type thing. Right. So I'm assuming this is the creature here, and the children are frightened of it, being frightened of it, and trying to comfort themselves by fleeing to their mother. And then the creature itself is cowled underneath this robe in order to preserve its identity from us, the viewer of the art. Curious. Right. Who's been spitting licorice in the face of my prized possession? I don't know. Some form of dark liquid is flowing out of the holes. That's not nice. Can I set the dark liquid on fire? Yeah. That was curious. That's interesting. Why is it doing that? Oh, it's not doing it anymore. Oh, was that just a coincidence? Is that just a coincidence that it's doing that? Does it just die after a certain period of time? Because it seems like there's a correlation between me holding the match over the face of the figurine and the match going out. Right, okay. I mean, correlation is not causation, but I am seeing a statistically significant relationship here in the data. So that's curious, isn't it? Alright, so let's have another little look around and see if anything else has changed. Seeing anything here? I still haven't seen any links to the tail, which I no longer even seem to be able to click on as a point of interest. With the dark liquid has also loosened the metal object. Oh, you don't say. Right. Well, at least its constipation has been sorted out. There's nothing else. What do we have here? Oh my goodness! It's just a horrid rusty nail. Ah, marvelous. Ah, this is what I need the matches for. Oh, it hasn't run away, at least not yet. Okay, let me light this again. There we are, that will help a little bit. Everything else seems to be fine. Alright, let's put that down and see what we have here. I don't seem to be able to sort of click and drag on this or anything. I don't really know. So we've got an iron nail that's been stabbed into the bum of this creature. Other than that, nothing seems that different. Let's turn it around and see if the face has changed. Yes, it seems to have ever so slightly been sick. I should pick up the candle and investigate. Oh, blimey. What? Oh, I say, this is very interesting. It's not at all what I was expecting. Alright, what have we got here? We've got a map of somewhere I don't recognise. Nope, I haven't got a clue. I can't recognise any of those geographic shapes. Nor really can I recognise any of those. Alright. Well, everything seems above board. Oh, I say, oh wow, this really is like a kind of choose your own adventure game. I'm sort of wandering around the environment trying to... What is that? Can you see that? I appreciate it's very dark. There's like an outline of a figure here with sort of a torso and arms here, legs here, and then a head. Oh, it's a statue, is it? Ah, okay, right, that's perfectly pleasant. I need to find out what's happening before I leave. Really? Because I would have been more than willing to leave without finding out what was happening. Okay, you're a funny looking fellow, aren't you? But alright, okay. What do we have here? Many other ancient cultural treasures which I have pilfered. More dark statues. They lead to the left. What? Ugh. What on earth are you talking about? You say that as if you don't recognize these, friend. Surely they're all yours. I stumble in the darkness, trying to find my way towards the door, away from that wretched thing. Yeah, I was sort of recommending that you get away from the wretched thing before it became quite so frickin' retching. I reach out with my hand to find something. There is a wall here. Oh. Oh, no. There is nothing in front of me. We really are, I know I keep saying it, but we really are turning into a text adventure game here. The air feels colder here. Does that mean I'm getting closer to the front door? There is a wall here, and I feel some sort of moss growing on it. I'm sorry, what? There's another wall here. Okay, now if I turn it back, I should be back in front, down that corridor I first came. So what was on the other side of me? Okay, let's keep going this way. There's nothing in front of me. There's a wall in front of me. If I vaguely remember correctly, I think the door was to my right. There is a wall here. And there is a wall here. This is not where I came from. I don't know where we are. I've got myself a bit... Yes, hang on a minute, because I moved forward twice, didn't I? And then there was a wall in front of me. And then I turned 90 degrees, there was a wall in front of me. And then I turned 90 degrees again. I should have been facing back down the corridor, but I wasn't. There was another wall there. Right, I seem to be completely encased in a box here, like a bloody mime. I'm not sure what I can do. No, I seem to be going completely bananas. Marvellous. I remember the matches I kept in my pocket. There is just one left. It takes a few seconds before I dare to light it. Bloody these safety matches. Ah, good, 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 good. I've fallen down to some form of a tomb. Tremendous. Oh dear, oh dear. Excerpt from the newspaper article titled "The Children of Clay." Just a few months after the disappearance of esteemed archaeologist and the incident involving a broken artifact, the team working on the remote site in the Urals have made an astonishing discovery. A previously unknown underground chamber containing a dozen similar small clay figurines has been discovered. They are already in contact with several universities across the globe to study them further. I'm so glad that we're more worried about these little figurines than we are about me being trapped in the cave for the rest of time. Dear oh dear oh dear. That was really good. That was brilliant. I very, very much enjoyed that. That was absolutely fascinating. Very nicely put together. And I loved the lighting and the colour scheme and how dusty and ancient everything seemed to be. So that really was lovely. I don't know if I got everything that I was supposed to research. I think I might have missed perhaps 3 or 4 things in the book that I potentially could have researched. So I don't know if some of it is optional and not of immediate importance, like the what's the word I'm looking for? The tail that we saw, which didn't seem to hold much relevance, because if the figurine was meant to represent a character that we found in the book, then excuse me, then the 2 options would either be the Mewmush demon or the Erdung demon himself, the father of all those little demons. But then Erdung himself didn't seem to have a tail, and the Mewmush seemed to be able to take whatever form was relevant in order to thoroughly frighten whoever was observing it at the time. So I'm not sure if the tail actually had any relevance, and whether there may be sort of little details in there which aren't overly important, and then larger details which are more relevant. But that was very good. That was very interesting. I always enjoy a game that teaches me about the folklore and the horror stories of another culture. And I think Eastern Europe is one that's often a little bit overlooked when it comes to that area. Obviously, you've got the classics from North America and many of the Native American beliefs, and then obviously all of the demons and monsters from Asian folklore as well, which are often very, very interesting and fascinating. So I think that Eastern European folklore also has a lot of potential to be explored and have interesting characters and designs from, but it's not so often examined. So I'm always enjoying games that do delve into that. So that was very good, and I very much enjoyed it, and I hope you did as well. So thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.